Hey you guys, what's up? It's Rockados54 here, and welcome to my list for the best albums of 2021. This is going to be a top 10 list with some honorable mentions. I was originally going to have this be a top 15, but I've really been trying to make these videos shorter because I seem to have a habit of having these videos be very long. So I thought this video would probably go on forever if I ended up making this a top 15. So let's just get started. The honorable mentions are Brockhampton's Roadrunner New Light New Machine, Bo Burnham's Inside the Songs, Megan Thee Stallion's Something for the Hotties, Halsey's If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power, and Logic's Bobby Tarantino 3. Now, before I get started with the real top 10 list, technically Taylor Swift's Red Taylor's version would be in the top 10, but I decided not to include it because it's more of a re-release slash deluxe edition than a whole new album, especially since the re-recorded versions of the old songs don't sound any different, so that's why I chose not to include it. So let's get on with the list. Now, starting the list is number 10, which is Lil Baby and Lil Durk's The Voice of the Heroes. This was one of the more impressive projects of this year. I always thought it was going to be good, but I did not expect it to go the places it did. Lil Baby has such an infectious voice that stays in your head and sounds great. Lil Durk delivers a lot of his best material yet, and the two of them work off of each other very well. I feel like this is going to have a resurgence in the next few years, as it hasn't had like an enormous level of popularity like their other projects, at least none that I've seen. But there's a lot more under the surface here than you may initially think. I have that feeling that there's more to uncover from this thing. My favorite song from this album is Bruised Up. Coming in at number 9 is Lil TJ's Destined to Win. The 2020 XXL freshman class was a pretty good one with some great standout stars and some of the best voices we've heard in quite a while. Now, Lil TJ's first album, True to Myself, that one was pretty good and I really enjoyed it. It was definitely pretty impressive. But on this project, he just improved on it. Like, he's got a great voice and flow. The album gets your head moving. There's a great and diverse variety of beats, and it's got a lot of bangers. Like, what's not to like about this one? My favorite song from this album would be No Cap. Coming in at number 8 is Moneybag Yo's A Gangsta's Pain. Now, I first got into Moneybag Yo near the beginning of 2020 when All Dat came out, and then Time Served got released not that long after that. And immediately I knew he was an artist I had to watch out for. He reminded me a little bit, at least on All Dat, he reminded me of like the peak bling era of rap, like when Lil Wayne was like about to release the Carter 3, like right around there. This album is more than your average trap album. It has a thing about it that makes it feel grander. And it's a hell of a lot more depressing because he raps a lot about the bad side of things rather than romanticizing drugs and clubs and bitches. Like, it's a cut above a lot of what has been released this year, and I really applaud Moneybag Yo for doing what he did with this album, and I hope that we see more projects like this from more people. And going back to what I said, how there's something about it that feels a lot grander, I felt a similar way to this that I did with The Voice of the Heroes that I just talked about. There's something about it that just feels grander than most projects that were released this year. My favorite song from this album is Clear to Air. Coming in at number 7 is Migos' Culture 3. Now, this is one we've been waiting for a long time after a series of delays. I think I remember actually being in school just before exam week in January 2019 and thinking, oh yeah, Culture 3 is gonna come out soon. Like I have a very vivid memory of thinking that, like standing near my locker, and I graduated high school 2 years ago. This album seemed to not impress that many people, but personally, I really enjoyed it. To me, it definitely wasn't as good as the first two, but I'm really happy to hear new music from them and to see that they haven't lost their way. This project was just a straightforward trap album with lots of bangers and it's just a good time. My favorite song from this album would be Vaccine. Coming in at number 6 is Polo G's Hall of Fame. I think Polo G is the best rapper to come out of the last 4 or 5 years. Like, he is so incredibly skilled and talented, and you can tell he really, truly cares about rap and the quality of it. He tells some amazing stories in his music, and as a result, it makes his lyrics great. He has a very nice voice and flow and really good production. Like, everyone talks about, like, oh, Polo G's really good, but he needs better production. I honestly don't see that. I think there's nothing wrong with his production, personally. I don't like Hall of Fame as much as the GOAT, but it's like almost on that same level. I can't wait to see what he'll come out with next. My favorite song from this album would be Toxic. Coming in at number 5 is Lil Huddy's Teenage Heartbreak. When I was making revisions to this list, I originally had this, I think, at like number 13 or number 15 or something like that. But after I first listened to this, I knew I loved it, but I wasn't sure if it was going to rank higher on my list or not. I had a feeling it deserved to be in that spot, but I didn't quite know yet. Like, I needed more time to just let the album sink in, so I put it at a spot that I knew it was safe at, that it was good at, but the album just stayed with me and got better the more I thought about it. With this new revival of Y2K era pop punk, I am so here for it. Like, it's a genre that never should have died out, and its peak era with bands like Blink-182, Sum 41, and Good Charlotte, I wish I could have lived during that time. Like, I mean, I did, but I was a baby, so, it doesn't really count. And yes, this album's placement in the list might be hugely based on nostalgia and my own fanboyness, but I really don't care. I think Lil Huddy is very talented, and not enough people give him credit. Like, the dude can really sing, and this album sounds great all around. It perfectly nails the Y2K pop punk era, and the themes are ones that never really left the youth culture, but are presented in a way that this current generation can really feel and relate, from rebelling and feeling sad and misunderstood to causing trouble and making out. He knows what he's doing, and I can't wait for his next project. My favorite song on this album would be a tie between the title track and 21st Century Vampire. Coming in at number 4 is J. Cole's The Off Season. This is easily my favorite J. Cole album. He took all the greatest parts of his previous albums and just put it together here. The amazing beats, great features, and Cole's signature storytelling and thoughtful lyrics and wonderful voice and flow all come together for one hell of an album. I was looking forward to this, but I did not expect it to be this good. Like, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. Like, J. Cole kind of made 2021 his bitch with this album. My favorite song from this one is 95 South. Coming in at number 3 is Drake's Certified Lover Boy. This is Drake's best album in years. Like, I'm talking best since Take Care. It's very long for a rap album, but that's not really a complaint since the whole thing is great to listen to. So it's like just more it's more great songs you can listen to, even though it's long. Like, I love it when there is a very long album that is just great all throughout, because there's a lot of like really long rap albums that have quite a few duds in the track list. This one was not one of them. This whole album was a banger from front to back. Like, just had me so turned up when I was listening to it. I was like, oh my god, like, this is so awesome. I love this thing. Like, do I even need to say anything about Drake's wonderful talent at this point? The dude is just phenomenal. Like, his talent is unmatched by any artist working today. My favorite song on this one would be a tie between Fucking Fans and Way Too Sexy. Coming in at number 2 is Trippy Red's Trip at Night. Man, did this album blow me away. This album reminded me of everything I love about Trippy Red. Great emotion and vocals put into the tracks, as well as really good production. I really hope he continues on this train of great projects, as I think the real emo style, like really, really emo, is what suits him best and what makes him one of the best rappers of the last few years. I didn't think we'd be getting something as good as A Love Letter to You 4 again, but we did. I can't wait for Trippy Red's next album. I hope that it's on the same quality as this or higher. My favorite song on this one would be MP5. And coming in at my number one pick is Kanye West's Donda. I mean, it's Kanye, so of course it's gonna be fantastic. This was my most anticipated album of the year by far. Kanye has yet again made another great project with a wonderful variety of production and features. And I think this is a great direction for him to go in post Jesus is King, and I really am excited to see where he'll go next. Like with Certified Lover Boy, this is a very long album, but every song is great, and it was such an amazing experience listening to it. Like, I wish I could pinpoint more great things about it, but every song is so different that it's hard for me to think. Like, there's the banger energy of Off the Grid, the hype of Junia, the euphoria of Moon, the emotion of Hurricane, or the comfort of Jonah that, honestly, for me, is incredibly nostalgic. I don't really think anybody else would really be able to feel that. I feel like this is something very particular that only only I understand, but I don't know, just when I listened to Jonah this year, it just hit a chord that I had forgotten about for a long time. Like I don't even really know how to explain it. If anyone else has felt that same way with the song, please let me know and like be as specific as you can because I really want to like see if there are other people who feel the same way I do about that song. Yeah, this album's just absolutely fantastic. Kanye is the best of all time. Not much else to say. This album's great. There's something in it for everyone. And my favorite song from the album is Jonah. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what your favorite albums of 2021 were. I would like to see what your guys' picks were. Subscribe for more content. Please leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it. And remember, you guys, whenever making a year in music that's worth remembering, say no to drugs.